Hey guys, so I did a video. I was going to do a green screen video. It was a long video, and it suddenly vanished when I was done. So I decided to just do this, even though I wasn't prepared for it. But I wanted to talk about the Karmelo Anthony updates that are going on. I did write a post when he was convicted, but the last video I did was before that. So I wanted to do an update. He was convicted and he was sentenced to 35 years in prison. And, obviously a lot of people were upset. I don't understand, I don't understand a lot of what is happening in the justice system unless we're missing something. I was one of the ones that thought he was guilty of I felt he should be found guilty of something because it wasn't a reasonable reaction, in my opinion, to what allegedly happened. And again, so my other issue, and I think this is just like something that is perpetuating everything, and it's a pet peeve of mine, not letting cameras in the courtroom in cases. It drives me nuts, and I know already what is going to happen every time because people have questions. There's gaps, there's missing information, and what is human nature to do is fill it in yourself. Try to fill it in just by your reasoning. And so, therefore, we don't know exactly what was said, what wasn't said. We're relying on court reporters that were allowed in the courtroom, just relying on their memory because they had no camera. So everyone is going to remember something and forget something or remember something differently than maybe how it happened. So I feel like and I'm hoping that we're missing information because if we are not, there is a serious issue. Even though I felt that he should be held responsible, I have no idea why he was found guilty of first-degree murder. That shocked me because as far as we know, and again, we don't know everything. So as far as we know, what's been reported is that this did not sound like a premeditated thing. Now, I don't know what the jury was thinking. Hopefully they will eventually explain it. I don't know if something happened beforehand that we aren't privy to yet. But if not, I don't understand what the jury was doing. And speaking of the jury, that is another issue I have and this has been confirmed, that the jury, there were different, so the initial thing that came out was that there were no black jurors. And some people started to say that they were all white jurors, which is not true. There was Hispanic, Oriental, there were other nationalities and races, but I don't understand why there was no it's supposed to be a jury of your peers. And it's very concerning and confusing to me as to what his defense attorney was doing or was not doing, because you guys probably know by now, it's jury selection. It's not like the lawyers have no say over the jury makeup. They get to pick and choose certain ones. And the fact that his lawyer wasn't concerned with having at least a few Black people on the jury blows my mind. I don't, even if we're missing a bunch of information, that part does not make any sense. I don't understand it. And honestly, I feel like his defense attorney, I don't know, I've never heard of them. I don't know them. But just from what this case has shown, it did not sound to me like his defense attorney was doing what he could have been doing. I don't know why that is, but it just seemed like he gave up because he really didn't call many witnesses. He didn't put Karmelo on the stand, which, Karmelo might not have wanted to. We don't know, but it's just like he just rested his case so quickly and did not seem to have concern about anything, to be honest. That really bothers me. So I try not to take side. Like, I just want justice. That's what I want. And I don't, from what's reportedly happened so far, to me, it does not seem like justice, because if he didn't have a jury of his peers, if his defense attorney didn't make sure he had a jury of his peers, if witnesses were not called to the stand that should have been, things like that I just don't get. And it's a list a mile long at this point. And I cannot wait to get the transcripts of the trial, because then we're at least going to know what was said during it. And trust me, I checked, they're not out yet. Sometimes it takes a while. I will keep checking, and I promise, as soon as I get them, I will post them. I will read them, whatever you guys want. I will do that, because I feel like it's very important. There was no transparency in the court because of the judge's decision. So I feel like the transcripts are going to be, hopefully, our answers to some very confusing questions. And I just, also, the sentence doesn't make any sense to me. The 35 years. Why so extreme? Unless, again, we're missing something, and this kid is some type of monster that nobody knew about, and had going around killing people, and just has a criminal record a mile long, which he does not. And obviously he was a juvenile, so it's protected, but it was reported that neither of these boys had been in trouble. They weren't troublemakers. So I don't understand, just from the facts we have, why the extreme 35 years in first-degree murder. I just don't understand. So to me, it was a response. It was wrong. I believe Karmelo should have been held responsible to an extent. I feel that he should have taken the stand, or at the very least, his attorney should have explained why did he have that knife to begin with? Why did he feel like he needed to? Why, we don't know. I would have liked to know why such the extreme response. Was he, did he have something traumatic happen in his past that made him, respond in the way that he did? Because it just was Austin pushing him. It's not reasonable to then take out a knife and stab him. And I just don't get how these are children. And you can tell, especially because of what's reported, that the conversation between them, the little that we've found out, it just seemed like boys being boys and being territorial and just smack talking. And Austin should not have pushed Karmelo. That was wrong. But even so, you can't just not punish someone for taking someone's life like that, because then everyone's going to start doing that. We're going to have that everywhere, because you just can't do that. But I feel like it shouldn't have been first-degree murder, because I feel like it was a reaction. It wasn't premeditated. I don't think he intended to kill Austin. I think he didn't think, and he just reacted. And he ran away. Like, again, it shows you they are children. He dropped the knife and ran away because he was freaked out at what just happened. And I don't think he expected Austin to die. I really don't think, unless this kid has knowledge of anatomy, I don't, to me, like him stabbing him where he did, I don't think he knew that he would bleed out. And I don't know. It's just very sad to me. And it bothers me that some people are only mentioning one or the other of the boys. And to me, both should be mentioned, because they are both young men who, one lost his life and the other lost his life as he knows it, and it will forever change his life. Like, even when he gets out, he is going to forever be associated with this. His name is going to always be associated with this. And it's sad, because neither boy they both had bright futures ahead of them. And now it's all gone because of a childish fight that went too far and a overreaction that ended someone's life. I feel it bothers me when there was a man after the verdict that I don't remember his name. I apologize. I had never heard of him before, but it seems like in his community, like around that area, he's well known. And he started talking, and it bothered me that he didn't say Austin's name one time. I totally get that Karmelo was the focus at that time because of the verdict and because of how the feelings that it brought up, but it bothers me, and it bothers me the opposite way too. Like, you can't just mention one or the other. Both of these boys, they're both, I feel so bad for both of their families. I feel so bad for just their lives changing forever. And it was a mistake. He made a huge mistake that ended someone's life. But he is not a serial killer going around here. Like, if he did not go to jail, I would not have any fear that Karmelo would just be running around here killing people. It's not the case. I think he needs to be punished, but 35 years is insane to me. First-degree murder is insane to me. I am not an expert in this. I know true crime very well. I know the legal system when it comes to true crime very well, because I've been following this for a long time. But I don't expect people to substitute my judgment as their own. Everyone feels differently about this for different reasons, and I respect that. It bothers me that there's been threats to some of my fellow content creators because of them reporting on this case and remaining neutral. Someone got their life threatened, and someone got their family's life threatened when their family had nothing to do with what they do. And it seems like the biggest thing is that people can't stand if you are in the middle, and they want you to be on one side or the other. And I don't think that makes me sad as a new creator. I've not gotten any threats, and probably because I'm new to the scene here. But I know of a handful of people now that have, because of them reading news articles and reporting the news, not reporting on. And I try hard to do that. I try hard to see both sides of things. When I give my opinion, I'm not saying that I think I'm right. I'm saying this is how I see things and how I feel. I'm not going to try and change somebody's mind to think like I do. I welcome somebody else's opinion. If you can explain to me like why you feel the way you do, I'm interested in that. I always am interested and open to that. My thing is that everyone just needs to be respectful. You can disagree with each other and try and learn each other's sides without what is happening. That is what bothers me. That's what makes up America, is everyone has their own views, everyone has their own feelings, everyone is free to say how they feel. But it's just, I don't understand why you would want a true crime content creator or reporter to be strictly on one side and not see the other. You know, like that, to me, that's backwards. Like, don't you want somebody you can trust to bring you facts? You know, like I don't, it blows my mind and makes me sad. And, yeah, I don't know. I just wish everyone could just be nice to each other, be kind to each other, be respectful of each other, do not threaten each other's lives. It's crazy that I have to say that. And yeah, I don't know. Well, it's going to be interesting to read the transcripts. I'm very anxious to get those, because then hopefully we will have a lot of our questions answered about things that don't make sense with what we know so far. But yeah, anyway, those are the updates in terms of what's happened so far with Karmelo. Also, it does look like he's going to appeal, which makes sense completely with what we know. And I don't know. Yeah, please just, we can disagree. We can tell each other that, we feel differently without like berating each other and threatening each other and just being against each other. There's no reason for it. And yeah. Anyway, I am going to sign off here, but yes, please just be nice. Just be nice to each other. That's all. All right. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.